Today I'm only going to be using this brown liner to ramp up this witchy look while I talk to you about some Halloween costumes I think that you should definitely try this year. Some of them are going to be very thriftable Halloween costumes, and others are going to be ones that you might need to get a few things online, but overall I think all of these are very doable. So if you're still in need of a last minute Halloween costume, hang out here with me. I'm going to do some fun makeup and we're going to chat Halloween costumes, and hopefully I'll have a fun witchier look by the end of this video. And if you don't want me to cast any curse on you, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your lovely friends who also love style and fashion. Let's jump into it. Bippity boppity boop. Going to start with I say start, I'm only using the Say Beauty liner in Tease. Okay, so let's go in with our liner. I have a list here. It's literally, I wrote them all of my favorites. Most of them were on lists that were for girls who kind of want to put a little bit of fashion into their Halloween costume. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how I can do this and continue to do my makeup. I'm going to see if multitasking is one of my skills. I made these compacts for my bachelorette party for all the girls, but it's super fun. I just got these inexpensively on Amazon, and then weirdly enough, my fiance Evan has an engraver, so then we use that. Also, when I go in with this liner, I'm just going really, really soft. Make sure your lips are well moisturized. Just go in lightly with your brown liner, and that way you kind of form this gradient between the liner being darker and then softly, gradually going into your everyday color, so that it just has this almost like an ombre effect going in. Ombre. As I do with my typical lip, I overline just a little bit, and I do it at the very bottom, just a titch, almost like right under the curve of my lip, and then just a little bit right in the cupid's bow, and then the rest I go into my natural lip line, because if not, I feel like I just have this really fake lip on. So I recommend doing that so that it still feels pretty natural, but you can get away with a lot. Okay, so the next costume that I have for you guys is twin flames. I think this is great for couples or for best friends. Now, I don't know if twin flames always implies that you're a couple. And if it does, I think it would be kind of funny if that is what it implies and you did it anyway. Okay, so what you're going to need if you want to go all in is some kind of red makeup. So whether it's a lip liner or a red lipstick, but something that you can use, and then you can just powder it after to make sure it stays, or use a really good setting spray. Here are some examples of what you can do to have a bit of face paint to have that flame aspect to it. You could even put some on your arms. It might be kind of cool to do a 90s style arm tattoo that has the flames on it. Could have a stitched in heart in your clothing that has a lot of embroidered red string on it. You can also just wrap it all around whatever clothing. I would either stay neutral or go full red, and then wrap a bunch of string around you, and then have just a piece of it. It could be on the end of your wrist so that you can then connect it to one another for a photo. This next idea is Miley, Stewart, and Hannah Montana. Make sure that you thrift a full millennial outfit, a layered long sleeve with a tank top, necklaces that are attached to what you're wearing. Make sure you go all out, and then with a Hannah Montana, obviously get that blonde wig with the bangs and maybe sunglasses because you could be undercover Hannah. Make sure you have the same millennial outfits, but with maybe a leather jacket, pieces that are bedazzled. Just go a little bit more teenage rock star in the early 2000s. Okay, so this is one that I've been seeing around a lot. I'm going to back up because you can't really see what I'm doing, and I'll just show you at the end. And I really want you to see my full witch's hat. And when I'm so close, I'm in a rolly chair, but it's not cooperating. There we go. Okay, so this next one is one I've been seeing trending a lot this year, and that is the biblically accurate angel. So I didn't know this, but apparently this angel has eyes all over them. You can print them out and attach them to the wings that you get, or if you are really advanced and want to draw them on your face and kind of have this mirrored eye look, that would be so much fun to try. And then whether it's in your wardrobe or you want to thrift something, finding something that you feel is very angelic and white. Add eyes to the wings, add them to your makeup look, and you'll have this biblically accurate angel look that seems to be the cool girl Halloween costume of the year. Okay, so this is a costume that I have always wanted to do and I will do one year, but this year time kind of got away from me. The Carrie Bradshaw costume. I mean, it's so much fun, sexy, it's cool, and it's very identifiable if you can nail the wig. I did see a video, I can maybe link it in the description, where this hairstylist shows you how to properly brush out a wig to make sure that it looks like a quality wig for Halloween. Because I know my fashion girls and I know that we do not want to be wearing a wig that feels like it's discount Party City. I definitely recommend getting a really big skirt. I think a tiny crop top. A huge thing with Carrie Bradshaw was always showing her amazing abs. Now, whether you do or do not have incredible abs, it does not matter. Or if you want to go with a short dress and show off your legs, I feel like there's always that sexy element to the Sex and the City look. Or if you want to stay with your own hair color and do a really tight curl, I think that could work too. Something about this costume feels like it's a perfect costume if you feel like you are in a fashion rut and want something to give you a little energy and a little boost. I would start to conjure the Carrie Bradshaw energy and decide to go with that this Halloween. This next costume is one from my nightmares. It is a dark tooth fairy. I think it's one of the most common nightmares where your teeth are falling out. It means that you're going to be experiencing change. Some of it maybe being physical or spiritual or what you're doing for work, but just fears around that change, but it doesn't mean it's negative. Getting into the costume, what you're going to need is, of course, fairy wings. You're going to need a cute ballerina outfit, pretty much go stereotypical what you would have worn as a tooth fairy as a kid, but then making it freaky by, apparently this is something purchasable on Amazon where you can get fake teeth, putting them in your hair. Some even go as far as getting white contacts to really up the scary level, and maybe even blacking out one of your teeth if you want to go that far. We're gonna get a little bit further into the makeup. I'm just gonna make it darker so that we're not so shy, because I tend to shy away from more intense makeup. Okay, so I know this looks insane, but I'm gonna try to just draw it in the most messy way possible. And then I'm going to wipe it off. I think that's pretty successful. So to help make it more moody, and I am the queen of subtle makeup, just putting a little bit on my waterline on the top and the bottom, but only on the outer edge, and then smudging it into my lash line to make it a little darker and concentrated there. Okay, we're just gonna stick with that before I poke my eye out. I've applied a little bit of the liner just under my cheekbone. Just gonna blend it and tap it in a little bit, but not too much, because if you're going to a Halloween party, it's gonna be pretty dark. And I would add more towards the back of your cheekbone to really help it get more pronounced. See, look how different this side looks. And then, especially if you are gonna have your hair up or something, I'd recommend right here, hollowing in your temples, hollowing that out a little bit on either side, because all of that helps shape the kind of, I just think this is like a creepy look, whether you're doing a vampire, a witch, just giving that hollowed out look in places helps. And then I'm just gonna play with this and do what my contour I usually do with my nose and see how it works. It gives a little more of a cartoon witch look. I'm gonna try putting liner on the inside on one side, and then you guys let me know in the comments if you think that was a good choice, or if we, for the costume, should just stick to keeping it kind of bright. And this is a little more my typical taste, but why not? Why don't we explore a little bit in this video? And then I just blend out wherever it kind of touched the edges. I feel like it does add kind of a spooky, fun element. I mean, I do feel kind of cool with that. We'll do it on the other side. I'll put my hat back on. I do feel more witchy now. Okay, I feel pretty settled on my makeup. So I'm just going to give you guys the last few of the Halloween costumes that I think are so cool, and some of them that I was so surprised by that I'm seeing trending right now in the cool girl Halloween space. So this is one that I've been thinking about since Zendaya wore her beautiful Joan of Arc dress to the Met Gala. And I think that there's a way for you to definitely accomplish this on a budget. Be creative. And also, I've seen plenty of creators just go for silver, gray headdress, and then maybe using a metal belt. I'll show some examples here that then you can tie around your head and link at the bottom, almost like that Juliet scarf that we've talked about in the past, or Juliet cap. That's what I mean. But you're using a scarf from there, using, chainmail as much as you can, wherever you can get it, or going online and seeing what other forms of metal you can incorporate into your outfit. But here's some ways you can accomplish this. And now we're going to jump into the next one, which is office siren. So this one really surprised me. I've heard of the siren in Greek mythology, where there are these beautiful mermaid-like women who are calling to these seafaring men, trying to lure them in just so that they can devour them. This is a twist on that, where it's called the office siren. So if you want to dub yourself as the hottest girl at your workplace, I recommend going with the office siren look. So for this, I have notes on my paper towel. Just a reminder, this is all on my paper towel here. So first, I would look up on YouTube 90s supermodel makeup, and that will get you very far with the sexy look. And then next, you can find these as false nails, or if you want to go all the way and get them done this way, but go for that pointed nail look. I'd go as long as you possibly can go. And then if you want to get some face paint or body paint, then continue whatever color you have. And I'd recommend going for like a red or kind of like a brown like I have, and continuing that color into your hands so that it looks a little bit more like it's a part of your body. And I do not know how exactly you would do this, but if you are the most overachiever for Halloween, use some prosthetics to make your fingers look webbed. I don't know. And the last thing that you'll need that's not in your closet would be black contacts. This is not a necessity. You could just go with a really cool, almost like Clark Kent style glasses to imply the work. And then for the actual outfit, I would wear a black pencil skirt, something that says like sexy workwear with a black closed-toed heel. You could even do some version of a tie with an Oxford shirt. I've seen a lot where it's on the tighter side of things, but I think it'd be sexier to do a short dark skirt and then a almost boyfriend style Oxford, kind of has one night stand energy with a tie. And you could even put the tie on and keep the shirt open or tie it all up, but the short skirt does a lot. And then I would definitely keep the heels looking like workwear, so like a standard black heel. And you could even have a name tag that says office siren if you just want to be right on the nose and make sure that nobody even has to ask the question. And then once they see it, they're like, oh, like it just totally makes sense now. So black contacts, 90s supermodel makeup, long, dark, pointed nails, and everything else I mentioned. Thanks for hanging out with me, helping me do my makeup with only brown liner. And I hope that I helped you today to find some great costumes, some that are so easy to thrift, others you can find in your closet, and some you might have to order some pieces for. But I think we have a good variety here. Thanks for watching. Let me know if there are any great costumes that you think our fellow fashion-loving cool girls will love. Leave them in the comments below. And until next time, happy Halloween. Please like, comment, and subscribe. All of you ladies who are in my coven, please share the love. And until next time, chat soon.